Well, happy Monday morning to you. We're about to cover a lot of information on what's to come for late this afternoon and into the early evening hours. Lots of new data, lots of scary words as well. So do me a favor, take that big deep breath. We're starting off our Monday morning. Got a beautiful sunrise out there this morning. Grab that cup of coffee and let's talk about how our Monday evening could look like. Again, overnight, we were upgraded to that level 4 out of 5 risk for the chances for some severe storms across our neighborhoods. Now, here's a look at what those threats hold. Again, not only the chances for a few tornadoes, but if we do get those tornadoes, they could be on the larger end of things, talking about EF2 or greater. What's also come up in the past couple of hours is the risk for some very large hail. Yes, we had some hail this weekend. The hail potential for this evening is even greater. We're talking about maybe up to the sizes of baseballs, if not a bit larger. Of course, to boot, some strong winds as well. So do me a favor, as we're sitting here this morning, you're drinking that coffee, you're waking up to a beautiful sunrise out there this morning. Have a way to get those warnings this evening. NOAA weather radios, TV, radio, 5+, whatever it may be. Get those things ready to go. Download 5 News on your smartphones or on your Apple TV, smart TVs as well. That'll give you the best information, up-to-date information. We can get it to you very quickly if we do get that severe weather this evening. Northwest Arkansas, the rest of the day today looks like this, starting off into those mid to upper 60s, warming up into those upper 70s. Some cloud coverage starts to build in as well. It is not the temperature that I'm worried about today. It is the humidity, the dew point values that we're going to feel out there today. It's going to be one of those days where you step outside, let's say later on this morning, into the early afternoon. And before the storms even get here, it's going to feel muggy outside. It's one of those days where you step outside and you say, yeah, it could be one of those days today where you feel like the storms are coming in. Across the river valley, we're starting off into the upper 60s, low 70s, daytime highs into those low 80s this afternoon. And again, muggy today. Dew point values into those mid 70s for this afternoon. That's going to be the energy that those storms are going to feed off of. Futurecast shows us this. Nothing to complain about for the morning hours. Seeing some sunshine, but that cloud coverage building in as well. We could see maybe a spotty shower here or there. But really, if anything, over the overnight hours has changed as well, is that not expecting much in the way of any of those scattered showers or those isolated thunderstorms before the main event by the time we get to late this evening into the early evening hours. Unfortunately, that's not great news for us. We would like an isolated thunderstorm or some scattered showers to maybe eat away at some of the energy that's built up. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. So by the time we do get closer towards 4 p.m., we're already talking about those thunderstorms developing across central Oklahoma and pushing into eastern Oklahoma as well. Here's a snapshot of 5:30 this evening. We're talking about everybody heading home from work. I-49, I-40, they're going to be packed full of people driving home. That's when we could have some strong to severe thunderstorms producing some strong winds, some large hail, if not a few tornadoes as well. But it's not one line of thunderstorms and then we're done for the evening. It's going to be very messy and we're going to hang on to that risk through the late evening hours. Here's another snapshot at 9 p.m. this evening. Additional thunderstorms coming out of eastern Oklahoma into western Arkansas, bringing the same chances of some large damaging hail, some strong winds, if not a few tornadoes as well. We may not be able to give you that all clear until, let's say, 2, 3 a.m. for your Tuesday morning. Here's the big change that we had during the overnight hours. That level 4 out of 5 risk now painted across most of northwest Arkansas, most of the river valley, and all of eastern Oklahoma. Even if you're not in the red, you're in the orange, which is that level 3 out of 5 risk. The biggest concern for today is those rotating thunderstorms that could lead to the chances for a few tornadoes. And if we do get them, they could be on the ground for a while, and they could be on the larger end of things. That's what those black lines mean. But also the red and yellow that you see associated with that is the risk that we have for today, the chance that we have for today, up to 10-15%. You say that's pretty low, right? Well, considering a normal day is 0 and even a marginally severe day is just 2 or 5%, obviously it's elevated for today. It's not our only risk either. Of course, that hail risk is going to be maybe our biggest concern this evening. Baseball size hail is definitely going to cause some damage. Of course, the wind risk that comes with it as well. well. Again, the humidity today, you're going to feel it. You know, you're one of those weather nerds out there. You know what those dew point values mean. Into the 70s, it's a juicy atmosphere. It's going to be primed and ready to go to support some severe weather by the time we get to this evening. That storm fuel looks like this. Again, seeing a lot of bright colors here. Everything you see further out towards the west here, those are those thunderstorms. So out ahead of it, the fuel is going to be closer towards that higher end of things. So when those thunderstorms arrive, they're going to have plenty to feed off of. Of course, to boot, with these thunderstorms comes heavy rainfall, and that flood watch is going to continue until Tuesday morning. So I told you we were going to cover a lot of information. I know that's a lot to digest, but that's what today's forecast holds for us. Good news is by the time we get to sunrise on Tuesday, we start a couple days where it's going to be calm outside with some sunshine. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday doesn't look too bad. It's going to be cooler, mid to upper 70s and some sunshine. By the time we get to this upcoming weekend, additional thunderstorms would be possible. But hey, it's May in Oklahoma and Arkansas. Across the river valley, weather impact alert for us today into the very early morning hours for our Tuesday. Of course, you know the threats for this evening. We just talked about it. Again, this is not one of those events that you're going to remember the rest of your life. At least we hope it's not, right? The difference between a day like today and a marginally severe day is still the same risks, but all elevated. Now we have the chances for up to baseball size hail this evening. Now we have the chances if we do get a few tornadoes, they could be on the ground for a while. They could be large. That's the difference for today, is that we have the same ingredients. They're just all enhanced for today.
Yeah, definitely. So what we saw this weekend, enhancement of that potentially. All right, thanks, Stephen.
Well, we have extended in-depth coverage of this weather impact alert on the 5 Plus Smart TV app. You can scan that QR code right there to download for those instructions. And coming up at 9 this morning, Stephen will be live on 5 Plus with a breakdown of the latest forecast data so you can prepare for this afternoon and evening.